woman after marriage becomes a wife. For 9 long months she carries a new life. Islam legislates equality. My sisters and brothers, don't forget paradise lies at the feet of your mothers.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to another episode of our series, The Art of Divorce. In the last episode we talked about that divorce is not really a punishment, rather it's a decision between the two spouses. And to continue on the topic, we have with us our guest from the United Kingdom, Sheikh Haitham al-Haddad. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
It's good to have you back again, Sheikh. Just a reminder of the last episode we discussed that divorce is not a punishment, rather it's a decision. But when we look at the scenarios and the types of divorce, we said that the man has the decision which was given to him by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is the role of the woman in making the decision then?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Yes, we said in order to minimize the divorce or to avoid it, consider the divorce as a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Don't consider it as a punishment. Don't use it as a punishment, because you will punish yourself, you will punish your wife, in fact you will punish your children.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but as we mentioned in one of the previous episodes, maybe you will punish the whole society. So please consider it as a decision. Now,
and you said a decision can only be made when a person is not angry.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as you asked about the role of the woman in that decision,
mm-hmm.
or in the decision-making process, many sisters, when they deal with their husbands, in fact, they accelerate the process of divorce, and they are pushing the husband to take it as a punishment rather than a decision. And that's why we say the sisters, the wives, can play a major role in making it a decision rather than a punishment or a reaction for anger. Now, many sisters, they might have some problems with their husbands. And because of these problems, they continue mentioning the word divorce. Divorce, divorce, divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Divorce me. If you are not happy with me, I know you are not happy with me, why don't you get rid of me? Divorce me and that's it. So they just mention this in the morning, in the evening, when he comes from home, when he comes from work, when he plays with the children. So now the husband will get used to this word. And then when he becomes angry, please listen to this, sisters. When the husband becomes angry, he doesn't think of what we have just mentioned about making it a process, a procedure in order to come up with the right conclusion, but he will immediately remember your words that you are not happy with him, or you told him that if you are not happy with me, just get rid of me, divorce me.
Mm-hmm.
So he will immediately remember those words and he will say, you are divorced. You asked for it.
Mm-hmm.
Number of times. You told me that if I'm not happy, I'm now not happy, so you are divorced. Are you happy now? So this normally what happens. So please, sisters, avoid making it as a choice for the husband in the first place. And from experience with so many cases, the sisters, they don't realize the meaning of divorce in the beginning. And subhanallah al-azim, I can confirm this from so many cases that I came across, from so many researches, from so many studies. The sisters, they don't realize the meaning of divorce. And wallahi, in many cases, the sisters regret before the men. They say, Sheikh, he divorced me. Is there any way to make it working?
Mm-hmm.
And then she is now thinking that, well, what happened? She doesn't know the consequences. And she was not realizing
Yes.
that the husband, please sisters, put attention to this point. she was not realizing that the husband is going to take this decision, and this decision is so severe and so hard for her and for him. And I have some cases where the sisters, they come and complain and they say, please, can you force him to take me back? I said, sister, if I force him to take you back, then he will divorce you again.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't have the ground for a successful marriage. And in some cases, sisters, when they receive the divorce, maybe a divorce letter, or the husband is divorcing them, they say, no, we don't accept your divorce. Thinking that they have to accept it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And in many cases, do you believe that some sisters, they say, I was on my period. She said that she was on her period and the divorce was not valid. And then she calls and she said, well, that she was on her period and the divorce is not valid, so he has to take me back. And then I tell them, sisters, come on. Even if it is not valid, even if we tell him that it is not valid, he will divorce you again. He will wait until you become ready for divorce and then he will divorce you. So my point, sisters, is that don't push your husband to take that decision. And in many cases, some sisters, they are unaware that their behavior in general, even if they don't mention the word divorce, we don't want to get into so many practices that some sisters do, but I will just mention some of the important practices that maybe provoke the anger of the husband.
Yes, yes.
Some sisters are always complaining about the financial situation.
Mm-hmm.
This is a big problem and the husband cannot bear this.
Yes, because this is a sign of his manhood.
Exactly, exactly. He finds that his manhood has been attacked.
Yes.
And as you mentioned this, anything, any criticism for your husband, that he took it as a criticism for his manhood, not just his personality, it will hurt him. And brothers, as we, sisters, don't think that we are just talking to you. We just mentioned that the brothers themselves, if they attack their wives from their feminine qualities,
it's the same effect.
Exactly.
This
effect will hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
So but we are talking about how sisters can help the husbands to make this divorce as a decision. So don't attack his manhood. For example, the financial situation. Don't, if you have even a problem in the sexual relationship, you have to be very, very careful in tackling it. Because if you criticize him from that angle, again, it will be criticism from the manhood. And most likely, it will build up in his memory. And after some time, he will say, listen, I had enough of you. Now, these days, sisters, I agree that maybe it is not the typical situation. Sisters maybe have to play a more important role in keeping their husbands. Mm-hmm. This is why it is happening like this. Please listen to this.
Okay.
Because men are exposed to variety, you can say, of maybe women in this time and age, especially in the West.
Mm-hmm.
The man, and I came across so many stories like this.
Yes.
The man in the West, he goes to work and he sees different women. And when he sees those women, he sees them in the best form.
Yes.
He doesn't see them when they wake up in the morning and maybe they have bad breath, or maybe they have not combed their hair, or they haven't put perfume. He doesn't see them like this. He sees the best of them. And he normally compares them with his wife. So the wife has to put more effort in order to attract him. And this is, subhanallah, one of the evil consequences of free mixing. Mm-hmm. That's why when free mixing lifestyle is taking place in any country, you will find the divorce rate is increasing. And that is one of the explanations why the divorce rate is increasing nowadays. because of free mixing.
Yes, and also the idea of the man seeing another woman not in her true picture.
Exactly.
And the complete story of her, yani.
Exactly. So normally when he goes back to his wife, either she shouts, or she's not ready for him, or she's complaining about the children, or maybe she's complaining about the home, etc. I don't want to mention the issue of what? The issue of women working. I know it is a very sensitive issue, and if we start discussing it, maybe we need maybe another series of episodes. But again, sisters, let me just finish this point, and then I will mention some tips about sisters working.
Okay.
So we just mentioned about this free mixing that helps or promotes, in fact, divorce.
Yes.
Yeah, because the husband is exposed to so many women and he doesn't see them in their true picture. And when he goes to his wife, he sees maybe a woman doesn't take care of herself, complaining, etc. That's why, sisters, please, you need to put more attention. And you need to try to attract your husband, to keep him, to control him. But please listen to this. The best way to control a man is using your feminine qualities. I hope that this is clear. Use your feminine qualities. Don't provoke him to hate you or to like to be away from you. And if, for example, the husband, many sisters, they say, my husband is evil, he is stubborn, he is so rigid, he is so violent, he is... Okay, we tell the sisters, and please do listen to this point. Wallahi, if a woman cries in front of any man, in particular, if he is your husband who one time has slept with you, if you cry in front of him and show your obedience to him, what will happen? I'm asking you, Brother Fuad, what normally happens?
Yeah, he becomes like a very soft teddy bear. Yani.
Exactly. His heart will melt down.
Yes.
But if the husband sees that his wife is what? Talking back to him, chatting back, shouting, he will become more what? Arrogant. Because he doesn't accept this behavior. And in the West, unfortunately, because women, they were brought up to be independent, so they don't accept this kind, they call it inferiority to the husband.
Okay, this point is an interesting point. It would take some time to discuss. We'll take a short break and we'll come back to how the West has made the woman independent and how this is an effect on divorce. We'll take a short break here on the art of divorce, and we'll be back right after this.
Don't forget paradise lies at the feet of your mothers.
Back to the Prophet. Join Sheikh Amar in the program Back to the Prophet, wherein he teaches us practical lessons from the Prophet's life and how this can help us to overcome our challenges in the present.
We talk about the life example of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, seeking guidance for ourselves. In the early days after the revelation of the Holy Quran, the Muslims were greatly persecuted, so much so that quite a few Muslims had to leave Arabia and migrate to Africa to live among Ahl Kitab, Christian people who followed the gospel of Christ.
Forget paradise lies at the feet of your mothers.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. You're watching The Art of Divorce, and we're still talking to our guest, Sheikh Haitham al-Haddad. Just before we went to the break, you said that the idea of the woman feeling independent also have a very great influence in the decision making of the man.
Exactly. So what we are saying is that, sisters, please don't show your husband that you are competing with him. I know that many women in the West, and unfortunately in many Muslim countries, because now they are following the same style, and they don't want to show that women are inferior to husbands, to their husbands, or to men. And they don't want to show that they are not equal. In fact, this equality between the two genders is a very evil thing. And we have to explain this, because I know in the West they might see this. What are you talking about? So please just remind us that we need to go back to the issue of equality.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So if the wife is always chatting back, and when the husband becomes angry and she becomes angry, and he says, you did not cook, and she said, yeah, but you did not buy this. He will say, no, I bought it, but you did not prepare it. So the point is, when he speaks in a very angry way, what do you need to do, sister? Just calm down. Calm down. Be patient. Even if he becomes so angry and you might afraid that he becomes so violent, and this is a very common problem, wallahi, keep quiet and maybe use your tears. You will win him. You will win his heart. You will win your marriage. Be careful, sisters. I know in the West, she can immediately call the police. And when she calls the police, that is the end of her marriage, because the husband will not tolerate this. You might win the case now, and you might say, well, I felt that my safety is in danger. Okay, you will call the police will come. The husband will never forget this. Because what? Sisters, please, don't use another man against your husband. If the husband feels that you went, or you are seeking protection with another man against him, that is the end of his feelings towards you.
Because it's another way of threatening his manhood.
Exactly. This is another way of threatening or stabbing his manhood, in fact. Okay? So sisters, don't use it. And that's why, if I may just explain or maybe talk about it more, I know we are not talking directly about divorce. Sisters, please just remember that the main person who can change a husband is who?
His wife.
His wife. Not his father, not maybe little bit his mother can influence him, maybe little bit his teacher that he respects, because he is an independent person, he's not a member of the family, so he might have some influence over him, maybe some of his friends, but the best person to change him is what?
Is his wife.
Is his wife. So sisters, don't belittle your role in having a stable marriage or postponing, in fact, the divorce.
Question here for the sisters. You said that the sister has an important role to play, and when the husband is angry, she's the one who stays silent. Be patient during this time, and vice versa as well. If the wife, there's no doubt that the wife at some case would become angry. That's my first question. When the wife feels the anger, what is the best way for her to act? And my second question is for the husband. If the wife knows that her husband is definitely 100% wrong in what he's doing at the moment, it's total injustice, what does she do in this situation?
Okay, let us take the second part, because it is related to sisters. Sisters, one of the points that we would like to mention about divorce and the how to make the marriage successful. When we talk about divorce, we are talking about delaying divorce or avoiding it, which indirectly means how to make the marriage successful, is to think of the marriage as a project. And you are the project manager. Both of you are the project managers. In fact, the sisters are what? Or the wife is the real project manager. And I would like to stress on this point. The sister is the real project manager, but indirectly. The husband, he looks like that he has the decision and he is the project manager. But if the sisters can, I don't want to use the word manipulate their husbands, they can get anything from their husbands.
Yes.
Okay? You are married, I am married, many of the brothers are married, and by the way, I ran number of surveys in some of the lectures, and in some of the lectures, I asked the brothers, do you think that your wives are controlling you? And in most of the cases, they say yes. And sisters are not convinced. They are not happy with this answer. They felt that, well, this is a Hippocratic answer. But in reality, they are controlling them. But that's why, sisters, control your husband in what? In the very feminine way. And that's why, if we go back to Sharia and the ahadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he described a woman as a very obedient woman to her husband, because you can win your husband by being obedient to him. If you start chatting back, then it means that you are not obedient to your husband, and the problems will escalate, and this might lead to the marriage breakdown. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ described the righteous woman, the righteous wife, that when the husband looks at her, he feels what?
Happy.
He feels happy. What does feeling happy mean? What does it mean? It doesn't mean that she is pretty only, but he feels that, oh, this is my soul. This is the second part of my soul. She is a lovely woman. She is a caring woman. She doesn't shout. She doesn't talk back to me, etc. That is very, very important. And as we, I'm coming from Arab culture, and they have a statement, and some people told me, some subcontinent people, they have the same statement or a similar statement. Is like, the statement says that الرجل خاتم في يد المرأة, or لعبة في يد المرأة. The man is like what? A ring, in the finger of what? Of the lady. She can take the ring out, she can put it back. She can remove it from this finger to the other finger. Now, our sisters in the West, they don't realize this. Because of this problem of independent. No, he said something, I have to say something. He presented his views, I don't have to be inferior to him, I have to present my views. He dislikes this, it is up to him. I should not put an effort to please him or to show him that I'm trying to accommodate his needs. I am independent and he is independent. We are equal. So please, sisters, put attention to this. And the first point, I would like again to remind you with the first point, don't always mention the word divorce. In fact, show your husband that you love him and you would like to keep him and you cannot live without him. Even if your husband, and this is your point, even if she feels that at the moment her husband is totally wrong and there is injustice. And in that time, I recommend that sisters keep quiet, be patient, and in particular when the husband is angry or he felt that now he has to maybe be decisive or take a decision, then at that time just calm down. Let him present or manifest his authority, and you show him that you have accepted his authority, and then you can start speaking in a very nice, soft way. And then most husbands, they will say, that's a good idea. And most likely, if you use your feminine qualities to pass your message, he will accept it. But the husband, it is his nature, he would like to present that, yeah, I was thinking about it like this, because he would like to what? To show his what? Authority.
Yes.
So don't dispute his authority. You took what you want, and you have achieved what you want, and the husband felt that it was his decision. Leave it like this. What is the key point? It's not to show your husband, I understood the situation better than you, and my decision was better than your decision. No. Avoid this, sisters. Avoid this. And here, I would like to mention one important point.
Mhm.
Now, we have number of cases where the husband is not practicing and the sister is practicing. And mashallah, from experience, many couples who are not practicing, and now because of maybe TV channels, maybe because of internet, because of lectures, the sisters, they start to practice
Mhm.
quicker than the husbands. This is common. They start to practice the religion quicker than the husbands. So the sisters always complaining about their husbands that they are not practicing. I don't know, do we have time to...
And I think that we have to leave it for the next episode, inshallah. We'll start on this point, but Jazakallah khair for being with us today here on the Art of Divorce. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to bless you. That's Sheikh Haitham al-Haddad there from the United Kingdom. Please follow us as we continue to speak about the art of divorce. Until next time, I leave you with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Woman's status in Islam, we should never neglect. They are favored and deserve their respect. They can pray at the mosque or even at home. They may marry or divorce, it's a choice of their own. A woman after marriage becomes a wife. For 9 long months she carries a new life. Islam legislates equality, my sisters and brothers. Don't forget paradise lies at the feet of your mothers. Righteous women can lead a happily married life. The best men are those who are best to their wives.